Hi guys, my name is Masoud. I'm a physics teacher. We are at your service in Ferhua's website, and we have an application to explain the physics curriculum, grade 10. Actually, in previous lectures, we solved some questions of chapter review, and we finished, let's say, 36 questions right now. Let's move on to the new question, question 37. Let me read the question for you, and after that, I'll solve it for you. How long does it take to count an amount of 5 billion dinars of 500 dinars notes, right? Knowing that counting one takes 1 second and that sleeping and eating requires 10 hours daily. So what's the question? What is unknown? What do we look for? It says, how long does it take? What do we look? We look for, actually, we look for the time, yeah? How long does it take? We look for the time period. Does it take for which? For counting. For counting 5 billion dinars. And 5 billion, we have the 5 billion dinars in what? In 500 dinars bill, right? All of the, let's say, money is in 500 dinars note or bill. So we want to count these, let's say, the amount of money. We want to count the money, actually, 5 billion dinars. The counting one actually note, the counting one bill takes 1 second, right? And sleeping and eating requires 10 hours. So how many hours do we count the money, actually? You have to subtract 10 hours, time that's required for sleeping and eating. You have to subtract it from the 24 hours. That's why you can count the money only 14 hours, right? 14 hours. Number of hours for counting is 14 hours. You see, 14 hours a day, right? So delta T is equal to the entire money, which is 5 billion dinars actually, divided by the 500 dinar bill. You have to divide the entire money, the whole money, by the, let's say, 500 dinar bill. What do you get? You get this number, 5 times 10 to the power 9 divided by 5 actually, because billion means 10 to the power 9. It has 9 zeros actually, 5 followed by 9 zeros. And the answer is 10 to the power 7 second. What do you say 10 to the power 7 second? Here, by dividing the entire money by the 500 dinar bill, you find the number of bills actually. But here, why do we write second? Because question mentions it. Question says that the counting, look here, counting one bill takes 1 second. So it means the number of bill is equivalent to number of seconds. That's why this number directly becomes second, right? So delta T is equal to 10 to the power 7 second, right? It says, actually, how long does it take the count? Yeah, the entire, let's say, time, 10 to the power 7 divided by 300, let's say, 3,600 multiplied by 14, because we don't count it night and day, actually, during night and day. We have a rest for sleeping and for eating, actually. We take rest for 10 hours. That's why we only count the money for 14 hours, right? That's why this 14 comes from the number of hours, actually, that we count the money. What's 3,600? Guess the, let's say, number. Go over it. 3,600 means the number of seconds that, let's say, involved in one hour. That's why 10 to the power 7 divided by, let's say, this number. So you find the number in days, right? You find the number. So it takes 198 days, right? So maybe you say why do we, let's say, why do we convert it to the days? I want to, let's say, calculate it, let's say, in second, but here it mentions it. It mentions that the 10 hours daily, we sleep and eat. That's why you have to subtract the 10 from the 24 hours. That's why 14, let's say, remains, and 14 is not minute, is not second. That's why you have to, let's say, convert this number 10 to the power 7 second to the hour, let's say, to the hour, this hour, and 10 to the power 7, this in second. 1 hour contains, look here, 14 hours, yeah, and each hour contains 3,600 seconds. So second will go with second, because here I, let's say, use 14. That's why the answer is taken in days, not in any other units. 198 days. So what's the process? What shall we do? Whenever you encounter this, let's say, this question, maybe your teacher actually changes the number. Instead of 5 billion, maybe it says 5 million or 4 million. Instead of 500 dinar, maybe let's say question says 100 dinars, 100 dinars bill, 100 dinars note. So you have to understand you have to know what you do, right? Firstly, you have to, let's say, divide the entire money by for example, by the bill, right? By the bill. Entire money divided by the bill. So this number is taken in second. After that, you have to divide this number, actually time period in second, time for counting, divided by what? Divided by, let's say, the number of hours that you count the money, not the, let's say, entire day, not 24 hours. You have to subtract 10 hours from 24. If I change the question, for example, I say the time that's required for sleeping and eating is 15 hours. What shall you do, right? So you have to subtract 15 from 24. The answer will be 9, yeah? So 9 hours only daily, 9 hours actually you count the money daily, right? In this situation, 14 hours, you have to, let's say, convert hour here into the second, because why do you convert it into the second in this fraction? Because we have 10 to the power 7 second. It can't be, for example, it can't be like this. If you write, for example, 10 to the power 14 hours, it can't be, it doesn't work actually, because you are not allowed to, let's say, you are not allowed to divide two different, let's say, dimensions by one another. Second divided by hour, it can't be. You have to convert hour here to the second. That's why the answer is taken in days, right? Let's move on to another question. Question 38. Exactly one portion of ice cream is to be made in the form of, let's say, in the form of a cube. What should be the length of one side? The length of one side in meters. So we look for the length of one side of ice cube, actually a cube or ice cream, or in meters. We look for the length in meters, length of a, let's say, cube, right? For the container to have the appropriate volume, right? Use the following conversion. Volume of 4 portions. It gave it us, actually, we have this information. Volume of 4 portions is equal to 3.786 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 3 cubic meters, right? So right now, you have to think about the, let's say, unknown. What do we look for? What do we search for? It says, find the length of one side, right? Find the length of it. And here it gave us, actually it's a little bit tricky question, Because it gave us the volume of 4 portions. Firstly, you have to divide this number by what? This number by the number of portions to get the volume of only 1 portion, right? To get the number of, to get the volume of 1 ice cream, right? So the entire volume divided by 5, this number divided by, divided by 4, not 5, divided by 4. This is the answer in cubic meter, actually for 1 portion, right? Are we done? No, we have one more step. Right now, think about the unit, cubic meter, and you look for what? You look for the length. And the length is measured in what? Length is measured in meters, right? But we have a volume, volume of 1 ice cube, or ice cream is in meter cube, cubic meter, right? So if you take a cube root of this number, of this, let's say, dimension, you can find the answer. So the last step is to take this cube root, not square root actually. Take the cube root of the number, and this is become our answer. So L is equal to radical cubic, let's say cubic root of this number, and the answer is 9.82 times 10 to the power negative 2 meters, right? Let's move on to another question, question 39. You can obtain a rough estimate. Rough estimate means approximately you find the answer. It's not accurate. It's not very precise. You can obtain a rough estimate of the size of a molecule with the following simple experiment. Let a droplet of oil spread out on a fairly large but smooth water surface. So we have an experiment here. It mentions the experiment. I'll summarize it for you actually. It says the resulting oil slick means let's say oil spot actually. The resulting oil slick that forms on the surface of the water will be approximately 1 molecule thick, right? So I can say the oil covers the surface of water, and the thickness of oil is 1 molecule thick. Given an oil droplet with a mass of 9 times 10 to the power negative 7 kilogram, this is the mass of the one oil droplet, and a density of this number, 918 kilogram per cubic meter, that spreads out to form a circle with a radius of this number, 41.8 centimeter, on the water surface. What's the approximate, it's rough let's say estimation. What's the approximate diameter of an oil molecule? So we have an experiment here. You drop, or I can say you pour some oil above the surface of water, and the oil covers the surface of water. Let's say the thickness of oil is 1 molecule of oil. That's why after that, what's the approximate diameter of one, let's say, droplet? 1 droplet of oil. We have some information here. We have a mass of 1 droplet, 1 oil droplet. We have a radius of, actually it's beneficial for finding the volume of the air droplet, because droplet is a sphere, right? And here we have a density of oil, actually, right? How do we solve this problem? Firstly, you have to find the volume of what? Volume of the, let's say, oil droplet. What's this number? 9 times 10 to the power negative 7. This is the mass of only 1, let's say, droplet. So this volume is the volume of 1, let's say, oil droplet. So M divided by R, M divided by rho. Rho means density. You can write the capital, no problem. So by doing so, you can find the, let's say, volume of what? You can find the volume of the one oil droplet. This is the volume of one oil droplet. Let me write it for you. This is the volume of one droplet, one oil droplet, right? Right now, area is equal to pi r square, the area that is covered by the oil actually, pi r square. Pi, this is the fixed number, constant, pi is constant, 3.14 multiplied by 41.8. What's this number? Let's check it. Here, whenever you find this number, 41.8 centimeter, this is the radius. I told you, this is the radius of the, let's say, one droplet. Area means, so we have to find the surface area because the oil droplet spreads out the, let's say, spreads out the to the surface of water. Actually, it spreads to the surface of water. That's why we don't have, for example, perfect square. You have to find the surface area, not the volume of the sphere. Surface area of the sphere is A is equal to pi r square. So pi and the radius of a sphere is this number squared, and find the answer. So right now we have some information. We found the volume of one droplet. We find the surface area of one droplet. You see? After that, D is equal to V over A. Why do we say D is equal to V over A? Because volume, for example, this is the, for example, surface area of a sphere. Surface area means we have a circle here, right? We have a circle. This is the diameter, right? And the volume, actually we found the volume already. We found the volume by dividing mass over rho, right? Right now we have to divide the volume of one droplet to the surface area of one droplet. This number divided by 0.55, you can find the diameter of what? Diameter of an oil molecule. Diameter, or I can say thickness of oil molecule, right? So what's the solution? What shall you do whenever you encounter this question? Firstly, you think about the volume of one droplet, right? It gave us, let's say, question gave us some information, mass of one droplet, and let's say density of oil. By dividing mass of one droplet by the density, we find the volume of one droplet. After that, you have to find the surface area because the oil spreads, let's say, above the water. You cannot have, you don't have, let's say, perfect perfect, let's say, sphere. That's why you have to find the surface area of the sphere. A is equal to pi r squared, as if you find the, let's say, area of a circle, because surface area of the sphere means circle, right? After that, in order to find the diameter, you have to divide volume by area, and this is the answer, right? Let's move on to another question. Question 40. One micrometeorite, let me read it for you. One micrometeorite a sphere with a diameter of 1 times 10 to the power -6 meters, struck each square meter of the moon each second, right? It would take many years to cover the surface of the moon, actually, with micrometeorites to a depth of 1 meter. Because they are micrometeorites, they are very tiny meteorites. Actually, it would take a lot of years, actually, several years. It would take several years to cover the entire surface of the moon, actually, especially about the depth of 1 meter. The micrometeorite should occupy 1 meters, let's say, above the surface of moon, lunar surface. Consider a cubic box 1 meter on a site on the moon. Find how long it would take to completely fill the box with micrometeorites. Actually, we use, let's say, rough estimation here. We have rough estimation. Simply, we can find the volume of a cube because it says a cube has 1 meter on each side. That's why each side has a length of 1 meter. That's why this is the rule of volume of a cube, length time width time height. The answer is 1 meter cube, or 1 cubic meter. Radius of a micrometeorite, because we have a diameter of micrometeorite, we have to divide it by 2 in order to find the radius. This is the radius of micrometeorite, right? Volume of this one, volume of the cube, this cube actually. Radius of micrometeorite is the radius of micrometeorite. So, volume of micrometeorite. Micrometeorite is the sphere, right? And the volume of the sphere is 4/3 pi r cube. And the answer is, actually by substitution, 4/3 is a constant number, pi is constant. R, we already found R by dividing their, let's say, diameter by 2. You have to cube it, actually. And after that, you find the answer. This is the answer, right? 5.22 times 10 to the power negative 19 cubic meter. So we have 2 volumes. Think about it. We have the volume of the box and the volume of the micrometeorite. We want to, let's say, fill the box with micrometeorite, right? So only, let's say, just divide the larger volume by the smaller volume. This is the answer, actually. Actually, the answer is rough estimation. You cannot, let's say, have a precise answer for this case, actually. It's a rough estimation. Approximately, you find the, let's say, you find the answer. So, right now, delta T is equal to delta T. Volume of cube divided by volume of micrometeorite is equal to this number. So, we get this number, right? Why do we, let's say, we write this number? Why do we say it's second? Because it says whenever actually you divide volume of cube by the volume of micrometeorite, you find the number of micrometeorites. But question says that in each second, look here, in each second, 1 micrometeorite strikes the surface of Earth, surface of Moon. In each second, 1 micrometeorite strikes the lunar surface. That's why 1 micrometeorite is equivalent to 1 second, right? That's why we use second here. After that, delta T is equal to, actually, this is the answer. We want to convert it to hour. This number divided by 365, let's say, days. Each day contains 24 hours, and each each hour contains 3,600 seconds. Actually, by doing so, you find the time period in years. That's why it takes 6 times 10 to the power 10 years to, let's say, to fill the box with micrometeorite. This is the answer of question 40. Let's move on to other question. Question 41. I think we have one more. Question 41. 1 cubic centimeter of water, right? Cubic centimeter has a mass of 1 times 10 to the power 3 kilogram at 25 Celsius, right? Determine the mass of 1 meter cube of water at 25 Celsius. We want to, let's say, find the mass of 1 cubic meter. How do we find the mass of 1 cubic meter? I want you to, let's say, memorize this, let's say, conversion, right? I want you to memorize this one. 1 cubic centimeter is equal to 10 to the power negative 6 cubic meter. Memorize this, let's say, conversion. 1 cubic centimeter. Let me bring it down to see the question, let's say, see the entire question. 1 cubic centimeter, let's say, versus what? Versus 10 to the power negative 3 kilogram. Because it says, let's say 1 cubic centimeter has a mass of 10 to the power negative 3 kilogram. So 1 cubic centimeter versus 10 to the power negative 3 kilogram. So right now, what's the question? It says, determine the mass of 1 cubic meter. So you know what the mass of 1 cubic centimeter is. Right now you look for mass of 1 cubic meter. Just by cross multiplying, you can find the answer. Let me do it for you. Be with me. Right now, what's the unknown here? M is unknown, right? M is unknown, or means we have X, for example, right? For example, we have X instead of M. Think about, for example, a variable. Our variable is M, means it's X, yeah. Any number multiplied by variable goes to the denominator. That's why M is equal to. Let me draw it for you. M is equal to, let's say, 1 times 10 to the power negative 3 divided by 1. 1 times 10 to the power negative. But by the way, actually, yeah, 10 to the power negative 3 multiplied by 1 divided by 1 cubic centimeter. And this is the answer. It's very easy. It's nothing, right? But here, maybe you say, teacher, in this table we have 1 cubic centimeter. Firstly, actually, you substitute the number. This is our, let's say, variable. M is equal to 1. I told you everything that is multiplied by the M, by the variable, goes to the denominator. So we have 1 cubic centimeter. What are the informations that, let's say, go to the numerator? We have 1 cubic meter times 10 to the power negative 3, right? So right now, let me write the unit here, 1 cubic meter. So is it valid in mathematics or physics, 1 cubic meter divided by 1 cubic centimeter? It can't be, actually. You have to convert either centimeter cube to meter cube or meter cube to centimeter cube. But right now we want to convert centimeter cube to meter cube. And I told you this number, actually. We have a tip here. 1 cubic centimeter is equivalent to 10 to the power negative 6. That's why instead of this number, you have to put 10 to the power negative 6. I want you to memorize it. Keep in mind that 1 cubic centimeter is equivalent to 10 to the power negative 6. That's why instead of this number, you see, I write this one and let's say divide it to find the answer, right? So this is the mass of 1 cubic meter of water. Means 1 ton. 1 ton means 1,000 kilogram is the mass of 1 cubic, let's say, cubic meter. Let's move on to another question. I think we have 2 more questions here. Question 42 and question 43, I think. Or, yeah, question 42 and 43. Let's solve question 42 for you. Assuming, let's say, and guys, I'm gonna, let's say, finish this lecture. I wanna, let's say, make another video for question 42 and 43. That's all for today. I appreciate you for watching this video. Take care of yourself and bye for now.